Real quick, I don't have my microphone on, it's dead. So, I got this outfit that I have on for church. I got it all at the thrift store. Loved it. Didn't try it on while I was there. So, the shirts fit great. I love them. And I ironed out the skirt. It's really beautiful. But I swear this skirt is made for like a 6'5" woman or something. I'm 5'4" and it is way too long. Let me show you. Okay, so it is supposed to be a maxi skirt all the way down, but in order for it to not be too long for me, guys, I have it up here. Like it's like right up under my chest. So it definitely needs to be shortened. And there's two ways I could go about doing this. I could leave it where it's at and just measure from where this is at the very top, the waistband, down to where I would normally wear my waistband, and that would give me my measurement. Or I could bring it down to where it would normally be and then try to bend down and figure out, where does that pin need to go? How short does it need to go? Um, so I chose to take my measuring tape and from up here down to where I normally would wear my waistband, and that comes to I'm gonna say 9 inches. I measured it earlier and I thought it was 8, but my belly button's right there, so I'm gonna say 9 inches instead of 8. So I'm gonna just shorten this dress by 9 inches. That's a lot. I have never had to shorten a dress that much before. A skirt, I guess I should say. It's not really a dress, it's a skirt. But when I have it up as high as it is, it's right here. That is the top of the waistband. And I normally wear my waistband like down here, like right around where my belly button is. So I'm going to do the 9 inches because if it gets a little bit shorter, I don't care. It doesn't have to be perfect as far as the height goes. So yeah, that's a lot easier to do it that way when you're by yourself, nobody to help you, than to try it, even if you're looking in a mirror and you're like bending down, like, oh, I'm going to put a pin right there, and then stand up and be like, is that where I want it? It's easier just to take from here to where your waistband's going to be and go with that for the measurements. So 9 inches is a lot, but it's just a straight hem across the bottom, so I can just measure up 9 inches all the way around, and then I will hem it up from there. I've got to double check, make sure I've got the right color thread. So this may be a continued video for tomorrow. But anyway, gonna take a lot off this skirt. Let's go check the thread and see if I have the right color. I determined I needed to shorten the skirt by 9 inches. So I'm going to measure up from the bottom 8 3/4 inches to allow for that 1/4 inch seam allowance, which it's roughly a 1/4 inch. Luckily, I had the right color of thread in my stash. So if y'all see thread at thrift stores or anything, like the whole bulk of it for really cheap, go ahead and buy it, unless it's just, junk that's falling apart. Because you never know. This came in a thrift store thing, and so, hey, I have the right color thread. Hope I have enough. I may end up putting white as the bottom bobbin thread, and then this on top. So we'll see. All right, I'm going to measure. Let's see, 8 3/4 inches. So from the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 3/4. And I noticed, you probably can't see it on camera, but over here, there's a catch in it and a little run. So luckily, I believe that 8 3/4 will actually go past that. Let me check. Yes, it does. 8 3/4. So that'll get rid of that flaw that's in the material as well. So I'm going to continue marking 8 3/4 all the way up, all the way around, and then I'm going to trim it. I will show you how I'm going to hem it. I have a special piece of material that I'm going to use, or a special tool, because this is a very thin fabric. I may not need it because this irons really well, and I could iron the seams down. But I think this tool is going to really help me get a nice even hem around the whole thing. So I'll get back to measuring and then I will come back. I wanted to show you something really quick here. I went ahead and I folded it in half and I tried to match up these side seams. They don't match up very well. This is what happens with fast fashion. It's all discombobbled because they do it with machines. So like this here, the bottom hem kind of matches up, but then you come down here and you look, this side has this big swoop and the other side does not. So match things up the best that you can. I'm not going to do it all the way around for cutting. I'm actually just going to cut it while it's folded in half. That way the sides will be the same and the back will have the same shape as well, because this is not the right shape. Look how straight that seam underneath is. And then this one just goes whoop. So yeah, I'm going to make this look better. Okay, so I've done the cut all the way across. And now this great little tool that I discovered, I had a friend and client that needed a formal dress hemmed, and it was that chiffon, real super thin stuff. And I was studying up on the best way to do it. And I finally came across this video on this channel. The channel is called Izzy, Izzie. And she talks about band tape. And I couldn't find one that was called band tape, which I'm sure there is. I didn't look super hard. I just needed it quickly. And so I found this fishbone hem tape, which really is the exact same thing. So this is just a small sample piece. I have a really long one that I'm going to use for the dress. But basically it comes like this. And you need to decide about how big you want your hem to be, which this is the same size that I used for my friend and client's dress. It's roughly 1/8 of an inch, a little hair bigger, I guess. And so what you do is you take the threads that are going vertical right here and you pull them out to the side and pull them completely out. So you're left with the horizontal pieces, because that's going to be the size of your hem. And so what I will do is I will take the tape, I'll take the long tape obviously, put it on the right side, and I am going to, this is hard to do with one hand, I'm going to line it up with the very edge of my dress fabric right there on the right side, and then I'm going to sew a straight stitch right alongside this long piece that I have not taken out of there yet. You don't want to sew over it. So you're just going to sew right alongside of it. Okay, I'm going to use white thread for this first stitch because we're going to stitch it twice. Because this first stitch isn't going to be seen. So I'm just going to go ahead and use white thread and save the green thread that I have that matches the skirt. So I've got my band tape or fishbone hem tape. And I'm going to take the bottom of my skirt, right side facing up, and then I'm going to just lay this tape down and match up the edge of these teeth with the edge of the fabric as best as I can. It's a little finicky to get started, but once you get started, it's not so bad. Right next to this last line right here. I sewed the band tape, or the fishbone hem tape, whatever you want to call it, to the correct side, the right side of the fabric of the skirt. So now what I'm going to do is turn it so that those teeth go to the back side of the skirt. Now you don't want to pull too hard, or you're going to pull that tape right on out of there. So I've got my iron set to Rayon because that's what the material of the skirt is. And I'm just going to flatten this down a little bit. I'm going to clip this. Well, I can't really clip it because I'll have to move this eventually. I'm not going to cut this off because for a bigger dress I would need, or a bigger skirt or dress, I would need the whole thing. So I'm just going to iron this, and I'm going to push it towards the skirt so that it makes it a nice flat seam. Adding just a little bit of tension. Like I said, you don't want to pull this tape out of the hem. Not yet. That comes later. We're just trying to flatten this down a little bit without burning yourself. See how that's flattening out just a little? Make it a lot easier to work with. There. Okay. So now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take and we're going to fold the whole thing to the back. Okay. So I'm going to flip the skirt around so that it's wrong side up. Let me find the end of it here. And then I'm going to flip it again towards the back. And then that's going to give me my finished hem, because this raw edge that's sewed to this is going to be underneath that hem. And it's going to be a nice small little hem. Now Rayon irons really, really nicely. So I didn't necessarily have to have this tape, but it is also a very thin fabric. So it's very helpful. If I didn't use the band tape, I would have made a much thicker seam, a wider seam than what this is. But you can see how thin that's going to be. And that first stitch, I did it in white because you're not going to see it on either side. Alright, final stitch. So this is all still in here, this little band tape. And then I'm just going to stitch a single stitch along here. Pull it along a little bit. And then as you can see, you've got your little hem. There it is right there. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to take this fish tape and hold your hem with one side. See, that's where the first stitch there kind of hit that line there that you're not supposed to hit. Anyway, and you just pull this out. And if you get in that line, there we go. Alright, so as you can see, I've got it sitting where I want it. And now, the other problem when I was wearing it way up here before I shortened it, is this split down here started like right there. I was like, whoa, that's a little too high. So now the split is in the right spot. I'm not showing too much leg because this is a church skirt. So yeah, now it's ready for some sandals or some boots or heels if I ever decided to do that. And it is the right length. I call this a significant success, an awesome, awesome job. Love it. Get yourself some of that band tape, or as mine is called, fishbone hem tape. Really great stuff when you're working with this really thin material and you're trying to create nice, clean hems. So, update real quick. I got a few people that gave me some input And so this teal shirt is going to be redone with this white scarf. So like I said, I don't like the sleeves in this shirt, and it's too wide for me. So I am going to put these two together and make it into a shirt that I will actually wear. So stay tuned for the next video coming up and see what kind of treasure I'm going to redeem next.